Hey guys, welcome back to the second time Lucky Mining channel. In today's quick video, we are going to have a look at the GPU mining statistics for the month of October. Now, can you believe it? October is done and dusted and we are in the second last month for the year. Thank goodness the bear market has been really long, but we have seen some pumps recently. But anyway, for those of you that are new to the channel, in this video, I'm going to have a look at the GPU mining statistics and we are going to have a look at a couple of things. First of all, what is the popular coins that people are mining? What is the market share between AMD and Nvidia, and maybe Intel shows up for a change. And then we'll have a look at the popular GPUs, both for Nvidia and AMD. And then lastly, we're going to have a look at the popular mining software that people are using. Now, the big reason as to why am I tracking these statistics month over month, and for those of you that's new to the channel, I've been doing this since last year. I can't even remember since when last year, but way before the Ethereum merge. And the big thing as why I like to track these statistics is just to have a look at the trends. Yes, I'm not really interested in the raw number month over month, but I like to have a look at the statistics. So to see sort of what GPUs people are moving towards in case I can find better deals, what are the popular software in case I am on the wrong miner, and similarly the popular coins, right? To have a look and see, where are people moving towards in terms of projects that they support. And that could be used for various different types of strategies. For those of you that's either chasing yield or chasing the most profitable coin, that gives you an idea of where is the GPU masses moving towards. Now, like all stats, this stats is not going to be perfect. Why the hell am I saying that? Well, we are going to be looking at the Hive OS statistics, and it's not the only operating system out there that people are using to mine. There's still a ton of people potentially on Windows, and then there are various other Linux operating systems that people are using in terms of mining. So just take that into account when you look at the statistics. Now, again, also the raw numbers doesn't really matter. To me, it's the trends to see where people are moving towards. And Hive OS is super popular. I use it and a bunch of other miners use it. So it gives me a rough idea around what are people doing. Now, enough of me waffling on. Let's jump on the computer and have a look at the statistics for the month of October.
Okay, so here we are on the computer. Now, what you guys will see is I've got the Hive OS statistics page open, and I'll leave you a link in the video description in case you wanted to go and have a look. But looking first at the most popular coins here, you can see it's Dynex followed by Ethereum Classic, then Ravencoin, which again I find interesting, then Nexa, then Radiant here just below that. In terms of who's been the biggest gainers and losers comparing month to month, and for that I'll open up my Google Sheet where I track these type of things, and here you can clearly see that Dynex continues to get support. So you can see they gained another 1.6% overall market share, and that looks to be the biggest loser being Casper, which at least makes sense with all the ASICs on the network, followed by Nexa. So it looks like people are dropping off Nexa and obviously Casper and getting on Dynex. Now, the other movements here is not really massive in terms of movements overall. Okay, so the next thing is let's have a look at the market share between Nvidia and AMD. And again, I'll just jump back to the Hive OS statistics page and just scroll a little bit down. And you can see it's Nvidia AMD, and it's a 70-30 split in favor of Nvidia. Now, if I go back to my Google Sheet here, you can see this trend has been like this for the longest time. Probably since I started tracking it, it was more a 60-40 split, but over the last couple of months, it's dwindled more on the Nvidia side, which at least in my opinion makes sense in terms of just ease of use of mining and just sheer amount of cards that's available. Though I do know that if you're mining Dynex, at least AMD used to be a little bit better, but I think there's a lot of improvements that's been made recently in terms of the Nvidia efficiency. But as far as I know, it's still a AMD favorite coin. Now, talking of Nvidia, let's jump over to the most popular GPUs. And again, I'll flick over to Hive OS, and looking at the Nvidia models here, you can clearly see the most efficient cards is still at the top here. Most popular being the 3070, followed by the 3060 Ti, then the 1616 Super and the CMP cards, and then some 3080s. In terms of trends, and for that again, I'm going to go back to my Google Sheet. I really haven't seen anything super interesting here. Probably the only thing that I would call out is there's more people switching off 20 series cards, specifically the 2060 Super, as sort of lost market share or at least use over the last couple of months. But other than that, I don't really see anything interesting in terms of the GPU models. The most efficient models are still what people are gravitating towards. Now, looking at AMD GPUs, and again, I'll just flick back to Hive OS, and the GOAT, the RX 580, is still top dog here. Followed by the 5700 XT, and then the 6700 XT, and the 6600 XT, and then still some 570s mining. And again, what I see here sort of makes sense. The older GPUs, there was just a lot of them out of the 2017 mining boom. So, will they see their third bull market? I don't know. It looks likely that that'll be the case. But in terms of movement between the AMD GPUs, and again, I'll just flick back here to my sheet, I really didn't see any significant shift between GPU models. What I am interested in, however, is Hive OS does now support the new AMD GPUs, and I'm quite curious to see if they make their way in here. At least in my experience using the new AMD 7000 series GPUs, they are not the most efficient GPUs. But again, that might be an optimization thing on the mining software side. Now, speaking of mining software, let's jump back into the Hive OS statistics, and having a look at the miner software here, you can clearly see the most popular mining software currently is SRB Miner. And if I skip over XMRig and this ASIC Miner, the next GPU mining software is LOL Miner, followed by Team Red, and then G Miner here. Now, again, this seems logical to me, at least SRB being a Dynex, or at least the favorite Dynex miner. And again, if I look at the changes here, what you will find interesting is SRB miner gained a lot of support in the last month. You can see here they've gained like 10% market share overall, and that looks to be at the expense of 10 miner here. So you can see there's a -6% here. There is little bits of minuses here and there, like LOL miner has notably also lost a little bit of market share, but clearly SRB miner is the most popular, at least at this stage. And again, if you ask me, that is related to Dynex's popularity.
That's it for this video, guys. If you've liked the video, please like the video and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. If you didn't, please specify in the comments what you would like me to change. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.